this is my annual walk along North Pier in Blackpool, something I find very relaxing and a must do every time I come here. Blackpool has the 3 piers. This is the, as I say, this is North Pier, but unlike the other 2 piers, this doesn't have any amusements on. It really was built for as a promenade pier, and it's kept its sort of Victorian aesthetics. And if I come over here, I'll just show you these wrought iron benches down the side of the pier, and these little plaques underneath, loving memory of people. It's just a very, very pleasant place to be. So I do come to Blackpool a lot. Those who watch the channel know that it's one of my favourite places, and whenever I'm coming here, you know, people ask where you're going on your holidays, and I say Blackpool, and they all look at me with sort of a puzzled expression, as if to ask, you know, why on earth are you going there? And well, quite frankly, I mean, for me personally, it has so much. You know, if you are watching this channel, then you're probably quite like-minded to myself. You know, I like history, I like engineering, love me railways, love me roller coasters, you know, all these different hobbies, and yeah, Blackpool just offers so much. So let's just talk through a few of the things that are here. Hopefully the microphone's not picking up too much of the wind. It's quite a windy day today. Obviously beautiful beaches, and these beaches stretch for miles right the way up. And I mean, the distance there, probably can't make it out on the camera, but that's the Lake District. So if you are up here for a weekend, you know, it's only a short drive up the motorway, maybe an hour up the motorway, and you're in the Lake District. And there's obviously some fantastic scenery there, and a lot of attractions as well. I've done a couple of those on the channel. But obviously in Blackpool, so what brings me here? Well, without doubt, obviously the Pleasure Beach. You know, 125 years it's been going, and some of the older rides obviously are still there. You things like the Big Dipper, which was the roller coaster when it opened, was named the Big Dipper, and that took the phrase for many other roller coasters around the world as they became known as Big Dippers. So that was the original one. That turned 100 last year. There's Maxim's flying machines, built in the 1800s, and they're captive flying machines. They were built by Hiram Maxim, and they were to fund actually one of the first aircraft. He was building an aircraft, steam-powered aircraft, a few years before the Wright brothers. That's still there, and you can still ride that. And then things like the River Caves and the Ghost Train, the original Ghost Train, the first one ever built, is still on the Pleasure Beach. And that's right at the end there. You can see the big one roller coaster just poking up. Let me zoom in a bit. And just there you can see the Central Pier with its famous big wheel on it. And then coming down the coast a little bit, there's obviously all the usual kind of attractions, but we get to the tower. Now the tower, if you've not been in there, I mean, yes, going up the tower is an experience. You know, it's extremely high when you go up there. It has a glass floor, but for me the building is what makes it amazing building. Even the staircases with their, you know, ceramic tiles on the walls, must to see, absolutely amazing to look at. And then within the tower building, you've obviously got the ballroom, Frank Matcham's ballroom, gold leaf everywhere. You've probably seen it on Strictly Come Dancing, but amazing place. And then in between the legs of the tower is the circus. And apart from being one of the best shows around, with a hilarious clown called Mookie, the room is beyond belief. The architecture in there, again, Frank Matcham, brilliant architecture. And talking of architecture, I didn't mention on the Pleasure Beach, a lot of the buildings on the Pleasure Beach were designed by Emberton. Certainly the casino building and a couple of other buildings on there, designed by Joseph Emberton. And then just up the hill from the tower is the Winter Gardens, fascinating building that's grown over the years. Now I've not been around the whole of the Winter Garden myself. I've only been through the sort of public walkway, but got a fascinating history. It was originally a doctor's house, and the house is still right in the middle of the complex and is actually part of the tea room now. But there's some beautifully themed bars and rooms in there, and obviously a big dance hall as well. Those are bits I haven't got into. And then just behind the Winter Gardens is one of the big theatres. Again, I believe decorated by Frank Matcham. And the other thing of note is the trams. So although the modern trams run up and down the seafront, quite a lot of the time, now the other thing to mention is the trams. They're modern trams that run up and down the seafront nowadays, but there is a heritage trams that still run up and down on nice weather days or peak season. They run a fleet of the old heritage trams, the balloon trams, still run up and down the seafront, and you can take a ride on one of those. And if you're doing light trams, the depot, the old depot for the vintage trams, the heritage trams, has open days and tours. They're trying to open it as a tourist attraction called Tram Town, but you could book yourself on a tour and go and have a look around the workshops or some of the older trams as they're parked up in the depot while it's under sort of transformation into this new museum. And again, there's a video on the channel of that tour if you want to go and have a look. And if you do jump on the tram, you can take it all the way up to Fleetwood. It's about a 40-50 minute ride all the way up there. The vintage trams don't go up, this is a modern tram. And right at the end of the line in Fleetwood, you'll find Job's Toys, which is an amazing collector's shop. Lots of model cars, railways, all kinds of things in there, second-hand collector's shop. And it's become an absolute must on the trips when I come up here. I now love going up there and having a look around, and also going up past obviously all of the different hotels and things. It's quite an eclectic mix of hotels all the way up. And if you do come up in the winter season, don't forget the illuminations, which run all the way down the seafront, all the way along the promenade, and further up, big displays of lights that are pretty amazing. Now coming back to the Pleasure Beach end, the South Shore, just along from the Pleasure Beach is Brooks Collectibles. So inside Brooks Collectibles, they again sell vintage toys and models and things. But inside there, right at the back of the shop, is a toy museum. You go upstairs, it's free to enter. They ask for a donation for charity, and it's a most amazing collection of everything from Corby. Again, there's a video on the channel if you want to have a look, but a real must visit and something that I do every time I come up here. So that's definitely something to look for. And then in between, all around Blackpool, there seems to be quite a large number of model shops. So there's inline models, which is up towards the northern end, just past Blackpool in Cleverleys. Just before that, I forget the name of the shop, but there's a little shop behind one of the tram stations that does vintage railways and collectibles. There is a Scalextric shop specialist. I don't think he's actually open to the public anymore. I think he just sells online, but that's based here in Blackpool. And then there's a couple of other little shops dotted around that are worthy of a visit. So yeah, all in all, an absolute must for me, and that's why I come here quite often. Anyway, I'll just leave some shots of the pier. As I say, very, very nice stroll, nice and peaceful, beautiful Victorian architecture all around you, totally unspoilt. And yeah, you find yourself walking along here and just imagining this place absolutely full of deck chairs with thousands and thousands of holiday makers lining the pier and promenading. And one final story I've just noticed on the end of the plant pot here, Harry Corbett purchased the original sooty puppet on the North Pier. So yeah, I think there was a shop at the end. I think it was, well, it's been described as a junk shop, but I assume it was like a novelty shop. And yeah, he bought the puppet there. So anyway, I hope the video was of interest, and obviously if you did enjoy it, please do give it a like, and yeah, have a look on the channel. There's lots of things on there around Blackpool area, and why I love this place so much. Anyway, we'll leave that one there. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.